Joseph, leaving aside for a moment whether we want to be passengers in driverless cars, let's talk about whether we want to be passengers in Google's stock. It looks here like Google, which is a company with a very profitable business that can grow with very little incremental capital expenditure, is looking at cars, a business where it costs a lot of money to grow, and there's a lot of capital expenditure involved. Should we be worried?
Yeah, I think you should be worried already. You mentioned little incremental capex. Well, check Google's capex numbers. Like last year, they spent $7 billion or so on data centers and real estate for those data centers. That was kind of double what they spent in 2012 in the first 3 months of this year.
Right. And revenues didn't double in the last year, I don't think.
No, yeah, it is. So it's like you already have to, and for them it's a strategic problem because they perhaps don't know how much sort of data space they're going to need, so they keep sort of adding capacity. That's very different to car making, where you usually just build just enough production capacity because idle production is a really bad move there. Surely
we can hope, though, that Google figures out a way to get some car company to build the cars, and Google's contribution is the very high-value software that makes sure the car goes to the right place and doesn't crash along the way.
Yeah, well, two things there, right? Even if you take some of the fastest growing car makers in the world, or who plan to grow really quickly, I don't know, like Jaguar Land Rover, it's a huge amount, again, billions of dollars of capex a year, just to make cars. And sure, Google can maybe partner with a car maker in that respect, but also even if Google's business is just to provide data, right? If you have a driverless car going around central London, with real people driving the other cars, that's a lot of data to actually process to make sure no one dies during that process, yeah?
Right.
It's not like you're driving in a straight line.
Yeah.
You have to kind of navigate.
Right.
So again, you come back to
There's a serious investment, even if it is a purely computer programming problem. It's going to collecting, aggregating, updating the data is a massive project.
Yeah.
And what about the regulatory hurdles Google's going to have to cross here?
Yeah, I mean, if shareholders like the idea of financing like the biggest lobbying effort in history, well, it may pay off, but we have to bear in mind there are only 3 US states which even allow testing of self-driving vehicles. Now, there may be actually we are really sort of overstating the regulatory problem given the actual advantages to society of driverless cars.
Right.
Cars driven by human beings kill lots of human beings, and obviously car makers who think, well, we would like to do driverless cars, but people like steering wheels and so on. That's a very, very small thing. So it's just really, do you want Google to become that kind of big lobbying organization in cars as well as in sort of data, really? That's kind of what you have to think about. At the moment, you don't actually get a vote on that stuff very much, given Google's medieval corporate governance. So I think now is the time to think about it before you start seriously allocating capital here.
Thanks very much.